Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to talk about what we've learned so far. And based on that, we're going to kind of come up with some suggestions for the future. One of the things that always happens, when I was a security consultant, nobody calls you beforehand. Nobody calls you before there's a problem. They call you once the problem exists. And the first thing you have to do 90% of the time is after action, hot wash and explain, this is what went wrong and this is how you can stop it from going wrong again in the future. It's almost every first meeting. Okay, so what have we learned thus far? We have an issue with our infrastructure. It is lacking in a bunch of different ways. It's not just the obvious ones. Okay. So what do we have? We know that our medical infrastructure is lacking in a big way. We need more ventilators. We need more beds that can quickly be converted to ICU beds. They don't have to be ICU beds all the time, but they need to be able to be quickly flipped over to that. Okay, those are two things that are real obvious. The thing is, this was being discussed 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. Professionals have been warning about this for a long time. The infrastructure is not there. Okay, what else have we learned? Our internet infrastructure is apparently not up to task. If everybody stays home to work, then, well, the internet will go down. Well, we should probably fix that because in times of emergency, everybody's going to be trying to get their information that way. So even if it's not just normal work, it's going to impact it in critical times. We have realized that not just do we have limited healthcare infrastructure, we have limited access to healthcare, and that's going to be an issue. Right now people are still debating this. I don't know why we have to do this. Understand, solve all the problems you want, but if the tens of millions of uninsured people in the country can't get healthcare, you're not going to solve anything because it's going to keep coming back around. So it's not just a moral thing. It's not just we're kind of like the leader of the free world type thing and people should have access to it. It's a national security issue. So it's something we have to solve. Childcare. We need more childcare. We need better access to food security, a big one. These are all things that are becoming very, very apparent. And it's all been warned about. It's all been talked about for years. We knew it was coming. And all of it can be solved by updating our infrastructure. It's all been talked about for years. There's another group of scientists out here that have been warning us about something for years, for decades. And we have to alter the infrastructure to deal with it. Maybe we should do it at the same time. It would make more sense to do it at the same time. People are wondering how we're going to get the economy back on track. Well, I would suggest that updating the infrastructure would probably help do that. So, we need to take the blinders off. We need to address this as if it's a problem that we have some kind of input on. And we just need to adopt the stance. This needs to be done. We need to update our infrastructure. While we're updating it to deal with crises like this, we need to update it to deal with climate change. We can do it at the same time. It'd be a whole lot more effective. Or we can ignore climate change the way we ignored this possibility that we have been warned about for decades and understand this isn't the bad one. When I went to those conferences, this isn't what they were talking about. This was bad. But there are much, much worse scenarios out there. This is overwhelming our infrastructure. Imagine what the really bad one will do. We've got to update it. We have to upgrade it. And we can do climate change at the same time. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day. Go wash your hands.